Namaste, namaste, and welcome to this Monday midday chair yoga. And this is our 5th week of practice of the term, and we are finding our way to the joys of autumn as we move into that season. You'll notice that I'm in my best orange jumper. It's a little bit too chilly to take it off today, so I might practice with it on, but it's quite bright on the screen. And joy and enthusiasm are part of the traits that we find in autumn when we feel balance. So today is going to be all about trying to find that balance to enhance that sense of joy that we feel at this time of year. So starting by just sitting on your chair, sitting nice and tall, finding a little softness across the shoulders, length in the back of the body, closing your eyes or gazing gently downward with the eyelids partially closed. Take a moment to step away from all the things going on around you in your life. Bring yourself into this time and this place for yoga. Maybe feel a gentle easing of the burdens on your shoulders, the weights on your mind as you step away from those responsibilities. Just for this moment, to nurture yourself. Notice how your body's feeling in this moment. Any aches and pains or stiffness or tension. Take note of those areas of the body and work gently and compassionately throughout the practice with those parts. Notice at least one part of the body that feels peaceful, spacious, and at ease. When you're ready, you can turn your attention to your breath and notice your natural, spontaneous breath. Feel the gentle ebb and flow of the breath and the movement of the body as you breathe. As you tune into those subtle sensations, deepen your breath, breathing deeply into the sides of the body, the back and the chest. Finding a long, slow breath out. As you release the breath, think about letting go of tension, of holding. Taking a long, deep breath into the rib cage, the collarbones, the shoulder blades. And again, exhaling, feel like you're softening anything that's weighing on you, letting go, releasing. Another few deep breaths like this. Autumn is the time for releasing things that no longer serve us. And with each deep exhalation, maybe there's a thing that you can just leave behind, moving forward, more buoyant, more joyful. Perhaps it's an old guilt or conflict or someone you need to forgive. Could be something that you've been holding on to for a while, or something very fresh. One more deep breath out, maybe gently sighing as you exhale. And then when you're ready, you can blink your eyes open if they've been closed, and just begin to roll the shoulders. Do a few in this direction and a few in the opposite direction. Throughout this practice, if you feel like there's an internal place you don't want to look, that's fine, just don't look there today. maybe come back to it when you feel able to do so. We're going to start with some neck movements. So just a really gentle dipping of the chin towards the chest, and then a raising of the chin up towards the ceiling. We're moving nice and slowly. We're just finding the range of movement that is easily accessible without any force or strain. We'll do one more up and down. Just going to where it feels good. After you lift your chin this time, returning to that centered place of balance. And from here, sitting tall, finding length down both sides of the neck, gently turning to look over one shoulder, and then back to the center, and turning to look over the opposite shoulder, and back to center. Just a little bit from side to side here. It's quite a slow start to the class, but it helps us to focus our awareness on movement, helps us to slow down our minds that might have been busy immediately before practice. One more time, turning to look over your shoulder and returning to center. And then again, from this centered, balanced place, taking one ear to one shoulder, coming through center, and then opposite ear to opposite shoulder. And gently going from side to side, feeling your way. Always working in a place that feels good, feels comfortable, no strain. Try to avoid pressing through resistance in the body. You might feel a sense of length, which is okay. Last time to this side, and then back to the center. And then just freeing the arms to do a few more of those shoulder rolls. Notice if they feel a little bit easier after we've moved the neck, and hopefully they do. So we're going to take the arms and place the elbows out towards the sides, and then place the fingertips to the shoulders. We're going to go in and out from here. So we're going to breathe in, reach the arms wide, and breathe out, bring the fingertips towards the shoulders or the chest. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, these are power mukta asanas, energy releasing postures. Breathing out. A really lovely way to start your practice. Breathing in, breathing out. Here we're going to bring the elbows forward so they're in front of the body, and do the same thing again. Breathing in, lengthening the arms forward. Breathing out, fingertips towards the shoulders or the chest. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. One last time. Breathing in, breathing out. And then here, relaxing your shoulders down, just giving your shoulders a little bit of a roll, maybe also a movement of the neck. So everything feels nice and fluid across the upper body. And then we're going to place the fingertips towards the shoulders again and make some circles with the elbows. So reaching the elbows in circles around the body. You can start with some quite small circles. Just feel how things feel across the chest, the shoulders, the upper back, and then begin to draw the elbows towards each other and then back behind the body. So getting a fuller range of movement. And here your neck doesn't need to be rigid. You can gently lift and lower your chin. That feels natural with your spinal movements. But if it doesn't feel natural, you don't have to do it. Let's reverse direction. Start small. Smallish. It's hard to go back to really small after doing the big ones. And then gradually building to those larger circles. Really taking the shoulder blades towards each other as the elbows move back and up. And elbows towards each other. Maybe the chin comes a little bit down as well. Allow your head and neck to move naturally as part of the movement. And we'll do one more in this direction. Relaxing your arms down to your side. And here, again, a few gentle shoulder rolls. Just going to let the arms swing a little bit at the side. And as we swing back, we get a lift of the shoulders, and then they loosely come down as the arms swing forward. So that kind of lift and release is a really nice thing to do. Just make sure you're not going to clatter anything behind you or to the side of you with your hands. And perhaps you can feel the childlike quality of a movement like this. Maybe it takes you back to a memory you have of autumn, perhaps being surrounded by the trees as they change colour, such joyful colours in autumn, or perhaps kicking through leaves. I loved kicking through leaves when I was a kid. Or finding conkers. Oh, what a gem, what a treasure they were. When you're ready, just bringing your arms back down to your sides. And again, rolling the shoulders just a little. We're going to take our feet a little bit wider and find more of the buttocks supported by your seat, but press your feet into the floor. We're going to take our hands onto the thighs or the knees and just begin to stir the body in a little circle. So we're trying to keep the length of the torso whilst we roll a circle around the hips and the base of the body. So you might open your chin towards the ceiling as you go back. You might bring your chin towards your chest or look slightly down as you come forward. We'll just do one more in this direction. And then we're going the same in the opposite direction. A little lift in the belly muscles really helps here for you to feel steady and stable. I always manage to find a slightly uneven bit of floor. My chair is rocking around somewhat. Hopefully your chair is a little bit more stable. Using your feet for stability as well. We'll do one more in this direction. Coming back to center, sitting tall, rolling the shoulders again. We're going to keep the knees nice and wide, take the arms out to the sides, bring the backs of the hands towards each other as we round through the spine, tuck the chin to the chest, lengthen the fingertips away, and then sit tall as we open the arms wide, turn the palms up, looking up. Round through the spine as we bring the backs of the hands towards each other, reach the fingertips away, scoop the belly in, stand tall, sit tall rather, opening the chest, taking the arms out and back, rounding forward, opening back. Maybe you like to do this with your breath, exhaling forward, inhaling up and open. One more, exhaling forward, inhaling up and open. And we're going to float the arms down to the side, again, just giving the shoulders a little release as needed. Hands onto hips or there or thereabouts, and just gently sway the body from side to side. So beginning a little side bend here. We're not going to do much. We're going to come up to standing to do the rest of the side bending. So you can go a little bit slower than I was going as well, sometimes helpful, pressing into the feet. And then when we come upright this time, we're going to do a little twisting as well. So the hands can stay on the hips if you like, little twist to look over the right knee and then the left knee, firming the belly muscles, trying to make that twist happen with the shoulders and the elbows moving, almost like you're a little propeller. Maybe that reminds you of sycamore seeds falling off the trees. And then when you're ready, coming back to center, again, just rolling the shoulders. Now, we spent a lot of time in the last few weeks focused on the feet. So we do need to do a little something for the feet before we get to standing. So bringing the feet underneath the knees, we're just going to wriggle the toes, which is quite a nice thing. And then try putting the big toes down and lift all the other toes up. And then try putting all the other toes down and lifting the big toes up. So we do a little one way and then the other. And this sometimes is easier to do if you look at your feet. So sometimes we've got more control if we use our visual cortex as well, that sort of visual aid of where we are in space and time. But eventually you learn by feel, you learn by awareness to know where your feet are. When you're ready, wriggling the toes again, hopefully you can feel some of the energy happening in the lower legs here. And then we're going to come up onto tiptoes and back onto heels. Both feet at the same time, up onto tiptoes, back onto heels. If you wish to go a little bit further, you can come up onto the very top of your toes, back to the balls of the feet, back onto the heels. But that is just in case you're wishing to progress a little bit further, or if you find it very easy to do tiptoes to heels, or balls of the feet to heels. So a bit backwards and forwards. Lovely job. And then we're going to sit back in our seats. Really let the thighs be carried by the chair seat themselves, and then roll the feet at the ankles. And here, I'm going to turn slightly sideways. So you can do this with the feet quite low down, so you've just enough space from the floor. And that's fine. It's a great place to be, rolling backwards and forwards. But if you'd like to, you can firm your back into the chair back, lengthen your legs, and then you switch on the muscles higher up in the legs a little bit more, and you offer your body the opportunity to strengthen and promote a little bit more stability. So the higher up the legs are, the more challenging it is. Go with wherever it feels good to you. So a few times in each direction. Ankle mobility is so important to prevent the risk of falling as we get older. And then we're just gently going to swing the legs one and then the other, like we're kicking. And again, you can do this low down, great. Or you can kick a little bit higher, using the belly muscles, using the back of the chair for support, even perhaps holding on to the chair itself for a little bit of extra support. Bring the legs that just a little bit higher for a bit of extra strengthening, extra training. And of course, the more we work these big muscles, the more demand they have for the energy in our system. So the more calories we burn, not that that's a thing, but we can mop up some of the sugar that is present in our blood by using our muscles, which is great, Particularly good to do after a meal. When you're ready, you can release your feet down to the floor. Just take a moment to soften here. Maybe we'll do a gentle back bend. Come to the front of your seat, or towards the front of your seat, maybe halfway. We're going to take the arms wide, reach for the chair back behind you, roll the shoulder blades towards each other and lift your chest. If you wish to, you can lengthen your arms so you lean slightly forward and get an effect of drawing the shoulder blades even closer together. And then gently release. Let's come up to standing. So we're going to place the feet underneath the knees and do our sit to stand. So we're firm in the belly, reaching the hands forward and just floating the buttocks up gently, and then releasing the hips back, arms to the side. Coming forward to stand, and then gently release back and down. And we'll do 3 more of these. We don't need to do them quickly. You can slow it right down. Just practicing holding in that little bent knee position. Now we're going to come all the way up and then all the way back down again. We'll do that 3 times before we stand all the way up and stay standing. If this practice is too challenging today, that's okay. Just come up to standing and wait for us there. So a little firmness in the belly, reaching the hands forward, we float the buttocks and then press into the legs to stand all the way tall, reaching the arms wide, maybe even allowing the hips to come a little bit forward if that feels okay. And then the opposite way, the hips go backwards. We reach the hands forward, bending the knees, and the buttocks lightly kiss the seat of the chair. Perfect. Two more like that. Reaching forward, floating onto the feet, and then coming wide, standing tall, maybe leaning the hips forward a touch, and then the opposite way, reaching the hands forward, hips go backwards, bending the knees to lightly kiss the buttocks to the seat. One last time, doing this all the way up and all the way down. And these are a great daily practice to promote that strength in the legs. So if they feel challenging now, keep practicing. Maybe do fewer, but do them every day, and then you'll soon build up the strength. And being able to stand up from a seat without aid is really important for maintaining independence. So we're going to stand all the way up and stay standing up this time. So reaching forward, that same floating onto the feet, and then standing all the way tall. But this time we release the arms down to the side. Maybe do a little dancing, hip dancing shoulder if that feels good to you. And I'm going to move the chair slightly to one side, and I'm going to do a little catty chakrasana. Gosh, that felt a bit heavy, didn't it? So here we are. We're standing with the feet a nice comfortable distance apart, whatever that is for you. A little soft in the knees, and then standing tall. So trying to avoid leaning forward before we start. Standing tall, we're going to let the shoulders drop down and gently twist from side to side. To begin here, I'll let your body do whatever it feels good doing. If it feels twisty across the ankles too much or the knees too much, feel free to move your feet as you move. It's not a problem. Let your shoulders be loose, the arms heavy and relaxed. And it's that same sense of being able to let go of things, particularly tension, responsibilities that weigh on your shoulders. That's what Catty Chakrasana gives us, the opportunity to just release some of that weight. So just letting your arms loosely wrap around the body and tap the body wherever they fall. And then if you wish to, you can keep your hips still and move a little bit higher up the back. So here we might have the arms wrapping around the body, tapping the opposite side of the chest in front of us, the opposite side of the back or the rib cage behind us. A little bit more intention to the practice. The legs and hips stabilized by the activity of the belly muscles, the buttocks, and the muscles in the legs. And then when you're ready, you can free your feet and make the movement a little bit slower, a little bit easier. Not easier as in less challenging, but with ease. And then if you'd like to, you can add a little soft bounce in the knees. Bounce and twist, bounce and twist, bounce and twist. As slow as it makes sense for your body to go. Or quicker if your body likes to move a little bit more vigorously. When you're ready, you can let the bounce go. Simply pivot on your toes and then bring your feet back to steadiness and sway slowly back to center. In the center, stand tall, organize your spine upright again. Feel the shoulders dropping down, the crown of the head lengthening. Maybe take a few shoulder rolls. You can roll one and then the other if you like a dancing shoulder, or both together at the same time. Doesn't matter. So to find joy in our practice today, we're going to open the sides of the body And we're going to use the arms a lot. The arms have got all of the energetic lines of autumn. So the lung meridian starts from the front of the chest and runs all the way down the inside of the arm to the tip of the thumb. And the lower intestine runs from the first finger all the way up the back of the arm, through the neck and the face to the opposite nostril. So these are the two energetic lines of autumn. It's why we do lots of movement with our arms across the autumn period of time. And that's Chinese traditional medicine take on it. And the yoga take on it is that lots of it's about the sacral area. So the area around your navel and involves the legs. Unfortunately, these two marry together very, very well in yoga. So we're going to start, the feet still nice, comfortable distance apart, hands onto the hips, and just a gentle wave of the hip from side to side. So we can look in the opposite direction if that feels good, or you can keep your head more centered and choose a spot ahead of you that's not moving and focus there for balance. Notice how it feels. Just easing the hips from one side to the other. And of course, if you need the support of your chair, you can keep it close by. And then we're going to bring the feet a little closer together, maybe underneath the body a little bit more. And the same thing, just a gentle sway of the hips from side to side. Notice how it feels differently here. Engage through the belly muscles so you've got nice support. And then we're going to stop and bring our feet as close together as they comfortably go. And the same thing. Notice it feels differently. Some people feel that they're able to stretch into different parts with the different positions of the feet. You might find some bits are easier than others. I find that the movement comes higher and higher up my spine, or it feels like that anyway. It might not be perceptibly like that, but it feels like that. When you're ready, you can bring yourself back to center, and we're just going to bend the knees deeply and roll the arms around the body in a circle, and then come to standing up. Same thing with the feet apart, bending the knees deeply, roll the arms around the body in a circle, and then with the feet wider still, bending the knees deeply, roll the arms around the body in a circle. Very nice. Come towards your chair. And so here, I'm going to just move my chair a little bit towards me, in fact. So we want to be a comfortable distance away from the chair. We're going to lean towards it. So if you're too close to the chair, it's very hard to get purchase to lean. So we want to be a comfortable distance away from the chair. Feet, however far apart, feels good to you. Just making sure that they're straightish. Straightish is good. So firming the belly muscles, lifting there. I'm going to take I'm the right side to the chair, taking the opposite left arm out to the side, and then just leaning over towards that chair seat. And instead of just leaning with the hips, I'm also reaching with my arm over towards that right side. And here, just gently easing into that before coming back to center, going only as far as feels comfortable, and with your chair for support, only as far as you feel stable. Firm in the belly. Let's do that 2 more times. Reaching up and over. Let the hips go to the left first, and then reaching the left arm further over to the right, and then coming back to the center. This time we're going to hang out in that side bend if that feels like the right thing to do. If not, just come in and out a few more times. Reaching the left arm out, hips to the left, reaching the right arm over, and then here, just gently, maybe pulsing that left hand a little bit further. That lift in the belly muscles really helping here. If you're comfortable, you can raise the left side of your chest up and then draw the left side of your chest down. So you get that little rotation through the body in your side bend. And that may or may not feel like the right thing to do, but of course, if you're enjoying it, please feel free to do another one. As we come down this time, we're actually going to turn towards the chair. So left hand on the seat, turning your feet and coming into downward facing dog with the chair. A little lift in the belly, lengthening the arms, softening the knees, maybe wiggling the hips a little bit from side to side if it feels good. And if you like to, you can press into your arms a little bit more, maybe begin to extend through one knee and then the other. Maybe looking under one arm and then the other, as you choose. When you're ready, you can walk yourself into an upright position, holding onto your chair seat. I'm going to move my chair to the other side. You, of course, may not need to. You may be able to just turn yourself around. And then as we come to an upright position, stepping away from the chair, so the chair is now on the opposite side of the body, feet comfortable distance apart, and we'll do our side bending again here. So we're reaching now, I've got the right arm reaching out to the right, the hips go to the right, lean my right arm over to the left as I use my left hand for support, and then come back to an upright position. It's like a really slow wave, firm in the belly, reaching the hips out to the right, reaching the right arm over to the left. And then gently coming back to center. Very good. This time we might hang out for a little bit longer, letting the hips come out to the right, reaching the right arm over. And then if you're comfortable here, you can maybe pulse the fingers of the right hand to the left, doing a little extra bending, or if you're really comfortable, roll the right shoulder up towards the ceiling and then roll the right side of the chest down towards the floor, getting a little spiral through the body. Nice and firm in the belly as you open up and then fold down. One more time, opening up. And as we fold down this time, taking the right hand to the chair back, turning the feet so you face towards the chair seat and a chair back rather, and then come into your chair supported downward facing dog. Here, both knees soft, maybe wiggling the hips from side to side, maybe pressing into the hands, and so the arms are nice and strong, lengthening through the back of the body, lifting in the belly, maybe lengthening one leg and then the other, looking under the opposite arm as you turn the head from side to side. When you're ready, coming back to center, gently walking yourself back up to your chair seat. Wonderful stuff. So hopefully, as you come to an upright position, you feel good. If you need to hold on to your chair for a little longer, not a problem at all. If you're feeling ready to do a cleansing breath, stepping away from the chair, breathing in, take the arms around the body and up, breathing out, palms together at the center of the chest. And let's do that 2 more times. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Very good. Relaxing the arms down, just finding a little wriggle and roll. Fantastic stuff. So we have done this practice that we're going to do many times before. So hopefully you'll find it quite familiar. We're going to start facing our chair and then step quite close to the chair and step back with the right foot as far as it goes. As you step back with the foot, allow your hips to turn a little bit to the right if that feels like a good thing for them to do. We usually have the right toes pointing a little out to the right. Be sure you haven't stepped one foot behind the other, that they are still about hip width apart at the toes. So we're going to lengthen both legs and then think about bending the left knee as we press into the right heel at the same time. And then you can encourage your chest to face towards the chair so you can rest your left hand on it. Don't worry too much about what the hips do. Don't over twist in the hips, and certainly avoid any discomfort in the back or the knees or the hips. And then we're going to take the right arm and move the right arm in a big circle around the body. And we're going to do 2 more like that. So strong in the legs, that front knee bent, nice and firm in the buttocks and the belly. Moving the right arm around in this beautiful circle, thinking about lengthening into the fingertips. And then here we're going to swap hands on the chair. So we're going to bring the left hand towards the chair. The right hand is off the chair now. And we can use the right hand to make big circles around the body. Again, we're keeping the legs where they are. Nice and firm across the belly, the feet and that front knee gently bent. It will feel different to do this in the opposite direction, on the opposite side rather, but that's all good. We're going to come back to the center, step our feet in. So we've got both feet facing towards the chair. Do a little march in place. Maybe lift your knees a little higher if it feels good to do that. And then turning to give yourself a little bit of space from the chair, we can do the little bend of the knees and arm circles at the same time. So with the feet close together, or as close as you like, bending your knees deeply and reaching the arms around the body in a circle. And then taking your feet slightly further apart, bending the knees deeply, arms around the body in a circle. And feet just a little bit wider still, if that's okay. Bending the knees deeply, arms around the body in a circle. Very nice. I'm going to swap my chair to the opposite end so that we can do the same practice on the other side. So stepping into the chair back, so you're nice and close, and stepping back with your left foot, making sure the left foot pointing slightly out to the left side. The toes are hip width apart still. The heels might not be, that's okay. Holding onto the chair with your right hand, and then from straight legs, bending the right knee and pressing into the left heel at the same time. You really have to activate your buttocks, maybe a little tuck under, maybe a lift in the belly, and really feel strong on your feet here. Allow your hips to turn wherever they want to, but bring your left hand to the chair back. So you might have the hips pointing slightly differently than the shoulders themselves, the chest. And then from here, with strong legs and strong abdominal muscles, we're reaching the left arm around the body and just letting as much of the body follow that movement as feels good. And we're doing 3 of these. Lengthening into your fingertips, feeling the space all the way down the arms and also across the rib cage. When you're ready, placing your left hand on the back of your chair, legs stay exactly the same, a little bit of strength building here. We're firm in the belly and we're doing those same circles with the right arm. Nice extended fingers. Feels differently because we're almost twisting the entire different way. Of course we are, yes. And then one more circle, stretching into the fingertips here. When you're ready, with both hands on the chair, just softening the legs, stepping your left foot in, maybe giving yourself a bit of space from the chair to lift the knees as you march in place. Very good. So we are going to come back down to sitting on our chairs. So just arranging yourself as needed. You probably want to have things like your blanket close to hand as we move towards relaxation. So I'm going to pick mine up from over here. So your blanket can just rest somewhere comfy. I'm going to pop on a scarf. It seems that I've chosen all the most lurid colours today. So I've got a red t-shirt on, an orange jumper and a bright pink scarf. And they all blend together on this screen, at least here at this end. I don't know how they look at your end. But I have to say that I love all these colours. So, and that might be obvious to those of you who's practiced yoga with me for a wee while. So we're going to rest the, we don't need to rest the feet, sorry, my bad. We're going to cross the feet. So we're going to cross the left ankle over the right ankle. If that feels good and you can keep your knees together and your thighs moving together, then this is the pose for you. If it doesn't feel good, simply rest the feet side by side, but have that sensation of pressing the thighs and the feet towards each other. Thighs and knees rather towards each other. If crossing the ankles feels good and you want to try, you can cross the legs a little bit higher up, but we also want to bring the feet towards each other. So we want to cross the thighs, but also bring the feet towards each other if possible. Wherever you get to, I'm going to do this variation today. We're sitting tall. I'm going to raise the arms up and drop the shoulders a little bit down, and then twist to the left ankle in front of the right, twist to the left. Take the left hand down behind you, the right hand across the body, and that lift in the belly and through the crown of the head, and then use your arms to just provide a little bit of extra movement for the upper body. So we're not moving the hips, it's the upper body that moves. Hold as you breathe here. When you're ready, you can gently turn to the front with your head and unwind your spine. Turn a little to the opposite side, and back to center. Uncrossing the legs, taking any movements that feel good. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. So it might be that you just keep your legs together, or you might explore crossing the right ankle in front of the left, but keeping the knees and thighs as close together as possible throughout the practice. Or you might be able to cross the legs a little bit higher up the thighs and then keep the feet moving towards each other. So it's a much more tight, it's not like sitting with your legs crossed, it's a much tighter pose. Whichever you decide to choose, I'm going to do this one with the knees pressed towards each other, right ankle in front of left. We're going to breathe in and take the arms up over the head, and then twist to the right. Take the left hand across the body, the right hand behind, and then use the hands, one on the chair, one on the body, to gently twist to that side. A little lift in the belly muscles. You can even press into the feet with the floor, into the floor with the feet. And length through the crown of the head. Feeling your way into your twist, go to where it feels like a great place to be and breathe deeply. When you're ready, you can unwind your head first, release your hands, unwind the rest of the spine, turn a little to the opposite side and back to center. Uncross the legs, just placing the feet firmly down, giving the shoulders a little roll, making any movements that feel good with your head as well. We're going to finish with a gentle forward bend here. So if you find forward bending in your seat a little bit challenging, feel free to stand up and take another downward facing dog using the chair back. For those who are comfortable, we can slide ourselves just a little bit further back. So as we tip forward, we've still got good purchase on the chair. Have the feet as wide as feels comfortable, and we're going to start by breathing in and taking the arms wide, and then taking the hands to the thighs, and as we breathe out, slide the hands forward and down the legs to wherever feels good for you. It could be that you stop when you've got your elbows resting on your knees, and that is absolutely fine. It's a great place, in fact, to stretch out the low back with a bit of shoulder wiggling. Or you can slide your hands all the way down to wherever is good and let the crown of the head relax towards the floor, so the back of the neck is relaxed, the shoulders are relaxed. Maybe the hands are on the ankles or the shins or the feet or the floor. Wherever they are, think about length from the tailbone all the way to the crown of the head. Do a couple of deep breaths here. If it feels uncomfortable, please release at any time. When you're ready to come up, you can take your hands to your knees, press into the hands and look forward, leading with the crown of your head, smiling as you come up to an upright position. Allow yourself to settle in the upright position and then take a deep breath in. Take the arms around the body and up, only if you don't feel dizzy. If you feel dizzy, just sit still. And then gently releasing the hands down to the center of the chest. Very good. So that's where our movement practice is ending today. with that lovely forward bend. And now we can get ourselves all wrapped up and cozy in our blankets. So it's really worth using a blanket for relaxation, because one of the things about relaxation is that it happens much more readily if you're warm and cozy. If you're distracted by feelings of cold or sensations in the body that feel uncomfortable as a result of the cold, then you definitely won't be relaxed in the same way. So wrapping the blanket around you could just be resting over your legs. It could be wrapped all the way around like I've done, like I'm wrapped up in a towel. If you've got the opportunity to recline on your sofa or recline in bed because you're using this as a video, then please take the opportunity to just give yourself a little bit more support behind the body. For those of you who are on a chair, you might like to put your chair against the wall and allow your head to settle against the wall if that is comfortable. If you've got one of those red spongy balls, you can put that behind the back of the head and the neck, and that will provide a little bit of extra support as well against a wall. All good ideas for the future. Now, just resting the hands wherever is comfortable, settling your body into the back of the chair, the seat of the chair, and the feet resting onto the floor or onto a block like me. Take a moment to bring your body to stillness. Take a deep breath in. Sigh gently through your mouth. Repeat 3 more times. A deep breath in. Let all the effort of your practice go. A deep breath in. Let your muscles begin to relax. A deep breath in. Surrender your weight back and down. Allow your breath to find its natural rhythm and fall into quietness. Take your awareness into your forehead, feel it soften. Feel the area around the eyes relaxing. The mouth, tongue, jaw releasing. Allow the whole of the body to feel heavy, warm, softening, supported, surrendering down. Move your awareness to your breath. Become aware of your natural breath, the gentle ebb and flow of your breath. Soft and steady and slow. And bring your awareness to your mind's eye. You can imagine it like a cinema with a room with a screen at the front, or it might be a cozy, dimly lit cave. It might be another space where you can project an image onto the screen or space ahead of you. Onto that space or screen, bring the image of a large tree. This tree is sturdy, healthy, stable and strong. The tree has been growing for many years. The rings of its trunk are filled with wisdom and experience. And as autumn approaches, this tree, which is really you, is going to find something to keep within its center for the springtime. So think of something that you have achieved, learned, done, experienced over this last year that you might like to keep with you, to retain for the future, to protect over the winter, to inspire new growth in the spring. All the strong and sturdy trees have done this for many years. And once you have decided what you wish to retain, you can imagine the leaves of your tree turning through their hues of green and red and orange and gold and brown. The leaves of your tree represent things that you do not need to keep, things that you don't need, that don't inspire you, that give you suffering or discomfort or a sense of being unbalanced. And as these leaves turn and each one floats to the floor, you release these things you no longer need. You can let them go. Your tree will be lighter for releasing these things. It could be feelings of guilt or anger or frustration. It could be a friendship that is fading. It could be an experience you don't wish to repeat. As the leaves fall to the ground, their energy is reabsorbed into the earth and transformed into something amazing for growth in the spring. Something fresh, something different, something positive. Allow your awareness to rest back on the tree itself. Those feelings of steadiness, strength, experience, wisdom, and nurture. Feel the slow, steady peace of this ancient tree. Bring your awareness back into your physical body. Feel the body as it sits on the chair. Feel your hands and your feet move, your fingers, your toes, maybe roll your wrists and your ankles. Sorry, my joints are really cracking today. When you're ready, take a deep breath in and stretch the body in any way that feels good. Maybe yawning. Maybe stretching one side and then the other. Maybe lengthening the legs. Maybe gathering yourself back towards center. As you do, you can rest your hands over your heart. Now, this tree that we visualized in our practice is a tree that has lived for many of our human lifetimes. And perhaps some of those are our past lives, if you believe in that sort of thing. If you don't, that's okay. But just knowing that we can tap into that ancient wisdom, it could be the wisdom of the previous generations of our line. Give yourself a soft, gentle smile. And when you're ready, opening your eyes. Thank you for joining in this practice today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to practicing with you again soon. Have a good week. Namaste.